I have made many videos about wars before, but this time it feels very personal. Until yesterday morning, I was in Dubai with my family. The Fairmont Hotel on Palm Island, where an explosion and fire were reported, was actually just across the road from the hotel where we were staying. Early in the morning, we left to catch our flight. Thankfully, our flight took off on time. Everything seemed completely normal at first, but about 2 or 3 hours after takeoff, the crew informed us that the flight was experiencing a delay because the United States and Israel had launched military strikes against Iran. At that moment, I didn't fully realize how serious the situation was. The only thought that crossed my mind was whether our flight path might be passing through an area where missiles were being launched. But after we landed, we started learning what was really happening. Later in the evening, photos and videos began circulating online, showing heavy smoke around Dubai International Airport. The airport had reportedly been evacuated and many flights were cancelled. Near Burj Khalifa, air defense systems were intercepting drones. Around Burj Al Arab, missiles were intercepted in the sky and pieces of debris were falling to the ground, causing small fires in several areas. It was extremely shocking to see all of this unfold. What made it even more worrying was that some of my family members had flights scheduled just a few hours after ours. Unfortunately, they couldn't board their flights because everything was cancelled, and they are still stuck at the airport with no clear information about when operations will resume. However, there is one positive aspect. The UAE's air defense system appears to be extremely strong. According to official reports, more than 1,000 missiles were launched toward the UAE, and the majority of them were intercepted. Several drone attacks were also attempted, but most of them were stopped by the defense systems before reaching their targets. In many cases, the fires seen on the ground were caused by falling debris from intercepted missiles or drones. So the big question is, why is all of this happening? The United States and Israel have reportedly launched a large-scale military operation against Iran, referred to as Operation Epic Fury. Officials say this operation could continue for several days. Airstrikes have reportedly been carried out across multiple Iranian cities, including Tehran, Isfahan.com, and Kermanshah. One of the most shocking reports claims that strikes were carried out near the residence of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. According to Iranian state media, he was killed during the attack, and the country has declared a long period of national mourning. Several high-ranking Iranian military commanders were also reportedly killed during a Defense Council meeting. Meanwhile, former US President Donald Trump stated that many of the key decision-makers in Iran's leadership were no longer alive after the strikes. Reactions inside Iran have been mixed. Some people were seen celebrating the news, while others were mourning in the streets. In response, Iran launched missile attacks not only toward Israel, but also towards several Gulf countries, including the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait. Explosions were reported in Dubai, and in Abu Dhabi one person reportedly died after being hit by falling missile debris. In Doha, smoke was seen rising from the direction of the US military's El Udeid Air Base. Meanwhile, in Bahrain, the base of the US Navy's Fifth Fleet was reportedly struck. Iran's armed forces, including the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, claimed that they targeted multiple US military installations in an operation they called Operation True Promise. However, reports suggest that some attacks also affected civilian areas. In places like Dubai, Kuwait, and Bahrain, missiles or debris reportedly landed near hotels, airports, and other civilian infrastructure. This situation is especially worrying because more than 10 million Indians live and work across the Gulf region. Many people have relatives, friends, or colleagues in these areas. India's embassy has issued advisories urging citizens to remain extremely cautious. The potential consequences could be much bigger if this conflict escalates into a full-scale war. For example, India imports a significant portion of its oil through the Strait of Hormuz. If the strait were to be closed due to the conflict, global oil supplies could be disrupted, which would lead to higher fuel prices, increased shipping costs, and rising inflation. Another interesting detail is the timing. Just a few days before these strikes, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi had visited Israel and met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Some political leaders in India questioned the timing of the visit, arguing that India has traditionally maintained a neutral position between Iran and Israel. One of the most tragic reports from this conflict involves a school in the Iranian city of Minab, where a bombing reportedly killed many children during school hours. Situations like this highlight the human cost of war. History has shown that when foreign powers intervene in conflicts, the outcomes are often unpredictable. Examples such as the removal of dictators like Muammar Gaddafi in Libya and Saddam Hussein in Iraq demonstrate that even when a dictator is removed, the country can sometimes become even more unstable afterward. That is why many analysts now fear that if the situation continues to escalate, Iran could face a similar period of instability.